Welcome back to Manchester and the World Pool Championships. We're just about getting our breath back here after that first quarter-final. On to the second. Let me introduce you to the two players in our second quarter-final. First of all, the England captain, Kevin Wright. And from New Zealand, runner-up in the New Zealand Championships this year, Paul Bartlett. Let's get straight on with the action then and join our commentator again, Jim White.
Thrilling quarterfinal. Joining me in the commentary box, the winner of that 7-6 encounter, Keith Brewer from England. And Keith, what can you tell me about these two players here? Kevin Wright, a compatriot of yours from England, and the New Zealander, Paul Bartlett.
Thank you, Jim. It's nice to be here. Kevin Wright is the England captain. He's a seasoned campaigner. He hasn't really got the greatest tournament record, so it's going to be hard to assess exactly how he'll approach this game. Paul Bartlett, on the other hand, I don't know him that well, but from what I've seen, he's a fighter. He had a thrilling 7-6 victory in his last round against Greg Farron, and I was very impressed with the way he's played. So I think we're going to have quite a good match on our hands here.
Well, the first advantage to Kevin Wright, obviously off the break, having fluked the ball, so always nice to fluke a ball off the break. You get to dictate the opening pace of play.
Bit surprised at Kevin's choice there. He's actually took the yellows and played a safety straight away. I thought the reds weren't lying too bad. He's obviously he's going to make a slow start to this game, I think.
Well, it was very interesting to note in the in some of the early chit-chat with the players just before this encounter that both of them, I think, were very tentative and a little bit nervous. This is new territory for the two of these players in this quarterfinal. And I think the television cameras might dictate some early nerves here.
And Paul's in a good position now. He's potted the first ball, a bit close to the pocket, but I think he should run these out from here.
Well, certainly awkward cueing here, Keith. Let's make the shot a little more difficult.
Yes, bridging over the pocket like that always makes the shot more difficult than it looks, but he's played it very well.
Paul resides in Christchurch in New Zealand. He's 34 years of age, and single, so that probably helps his pool career. And he appears to have made a mess of things there. Quite a large contingency of New Zealand players and supporters came over with Paul. Probably a dozen or so making the long trek. And by contrast, Kevin Wright comes from Crook in County Durham, a little ways north. Now, was that a bit of a careless shot there from Kevin there, Keith?
One of the rules that we have when you're playing a safety is if you don't pocket a ball, you have to drive either the cue ball or an object ball to a cushion. So what Kevin actually did was played off the ball and take the white up the table. He didn't leave him a shot, so he's not so bad. Kevin's actually in quite a favourable position now.
And as was mentioned, Kevin, the England captain, he's in fact represented England no less than 10 years. So an awful lot of experience at the table.
I can't see whether he's got the snooker there. If he has, I think Paul's in a fair bit of trouble. His problem will be he's not just got to hit a ball, he's got to actually make contact with the cushion after, otherwise it will be a foul. It'll be very interesting to see what he does.
Well, that was a long ways off, and Keith, I'll let you just explain to the people at home, for those of us that might not be quite as knowledgeable in this game of pool, the repercussions of that foul.
Okay, he's given 2 visits away. Kevin's potted the first ball, so he still has the 2 shots in hand, so he can continue potting. After a foul, not like the British rules that most of our viewers will be used to, you cannot pick the white up and have it replaced behind the line, and you cannot pocket your opponent's ball. Okay, like the British rules. But he was surprisingly a long way out with that shot. I think he was hoping to make contact with the red and block the pocket for the black. But I think Kevin's going to run these out now.
Yes, and he still does have that 1 miss in hand. So even if that yellow that is nearest the red might not pass, he'll be able to loosen it up, and it looks as though he may well have to do that right here.
Well, if he has a touching ball here, he could be in trouble because he needs to disturb it.
Touching ball on the yellow.
And he has. It was a bit of a careless shot. I think he's just tried to nudge it, and he's left it touching ball. He still has his 2 shots, so he can afford 1 miss. Oh, that's a great shot. Great shot. He's come off the rail, pocketed the ball, still carrying his 2 shots to his last yellow, which he needs to use because he can't pocket it.
End of first visit, second visit.
Okay, on his second visit now, and this yellow looks as though it will pass. Just a good positional shot onto black. And nicely done. So it's the England captain, Kevin Wright, taking this first frame. It's a best of 13 quarterfinal encounter, leading it 1-0 over the New Zealander, Paul Bartlett. And there a look at a few of the supporters that have made the trip from New Zealand. Long ways to come to see their man play. It's Paul Bartlett breaking off in frame 2. He's dropped the first frame, so I'm sure that the early jitters are still there. It's always very important to get that first one on your side of the scoreboard. And that's a good start. He's opened the balls very nicely and fluked one as well, so an open table for Paul. Important now to try and establish himself here, Keith.
Yes, he's broke the balls very well. He has the choice of colour now. He's nominated the yellows. That's a rule that the British game doesn't have, but I believe it's a very, very good rule. And, well, that's a bad miss, because the balls were very well open. And should have ran the balls out there. I think he's feeling a little bit nervous early on in the match here. I'm sure Kevin's going to take full advantage because the yellows are also very well placed.
Yes, even though this is a best of 13 quarterfinal match, this game of pool, you blink and you can miss a few shots, so things can happen very quickly, and you don't want to dig too big of a hole for yourself. And misses like that can prove very costly for the New Zealander.
Okay, Kevin's played a great shot there. He's played the Cameron shot. He's moved the reds away from the pocket, and the yellows are lying very favourable. Kevin's been playing very well in the team event this week, so I think we'll see him finish the game from here. First shot's a little tricky. He's played it well. Played it very well.
He's very soft-spoken, Kevin Wright. Doesn't like to talk about himself too much, but I can tell you that he led England, in fact, to the team championships, I believe, which were played last November in Perth. But he won't be too thrilled with the end result there.
No, it's a little bit careless from Kevin there. He's didn't get perfect position on his next to the last yellow. And he's actually caught the yellow as he potted it, and he's snookered himself.
Foul.
Now, to our viewers, that may seem a pretty strange shot. He's actually played deliberately at his red. In these rules, you're allowed to do that. The penalty, of course, being the 2 visits away. He's not allowed to pocket the yellow, though, on his first shot. So that's why Kevin actually played the red onto the yellow like that, leaving the yellow over the pocket and making it very difficult for his opponent, Paul, even though he has the 2 shots.
Yes,
visit.
probably very noteworthy is that Kevin is a very good tactical player in 8-ball, and there's quite a bit of strategy involved. And in his previous match, he probably beat one of the world's best tactical snooker players, 7-6, Eddie Charlton. So that's certainly a testament to the mind on Kevin Wright's shoulders.
Yes, I was actually sat watching that game when he played Eddie. It was a fantastic match. Eddie was 6-4 down, came back to 6 apiece. Kevin kept his head together, doing an 8-ball clearance in the final frame. I think that just goes to show his temperament for the game. Now, the problem for Paul here is, of course, the red on the side rail. He's only got the 1 visit. So let's see how he gets onto it.
Well, he appears to have landed very straight on this red, so if he can't get on the red, he may well be trying to play position for a double.
Yes, Jim, and that's exactly what he's done. He's come down the table. He never had the angle at all to try and get behind the ball. So, well, this looks like do or die for Paul.
Well, he's played what looks to be a very good shot. A little different than snooker rules are the 8-ball rules here. A ball has to make contact with a cushion after contacting an object ball, so he couldn't have played to just roll up to the red had he been behind it. He had to make contact with a cushion, and he appears to have done a very good job of that.
Yeah, I must say, Jim, I was very, very surprised with that shot. The double didn't look actually that hard. Be interesting to see what Kevin does here. He could actually deliberately play the red up to the yellow, but he's decided not to do that, and, well...
Foul.
There's a fair way out with that shot.
2 visits.
That's 2 visits away.
Yes, and that really could prove decisive in this second frame. Paul now with the chance to just drop this red over the top corner pocket.
Second visit.
A bit surprised with that shot. I think most players would have played it to the top pocket, but Paul electing just to run off the side for the middle. He's played it very well. Well, he didn't really need to roll it through that far, Jim, but he should still make the black.
Certainly a lot more difficult than it could have been, however. And a good shot from Paul. So the New Zealand crowd very happy with that result. It's Paul Bartlett squaring things up now at 1 frame apiece. Paul Bartlett a little bit out of touch at the moment. That's 4 frames in a row he's lost now. And he can ill afford to lose any more. He'll want to pull that one back. And that's not just exactly what the doctor ordered. Ball's very loose and an open table for his opponent.
Well, for Paul, it's important to try and keep his head up. He's played a very poor shot in the last game when he knows he should have won the frame. It's only a frame behind. He's just going to keep his head together. It's very easy for a player to put his head down now. Kevin, on the other hand, well, he must be feeling very good. 4-2 down, 5-4 up now. And probably going to be full of confidence. And as you can see, he's going for a straight out. The black's tied up a bit here. So I'm sure he'll be looking to squeeze that out at some point.
Well, that's exactly what he tried to do, Keith. He tried to dislodge the black in screwing back off the yellow, but he's fouled a red, and that's 2 visits to his opponent. And what's made matters worse is he did loosen the black.
This is exactly what Kevin didn't want to do. Paul's only a frame behind. He's got his head down a bit, and all of a sudden, he's got 2 visits. All the reds are very open. If he finishes here, he's back. You know, he's going to feel great. He's going to be back. If he doesn't finish here, then he's probably going to go have a cry in the corner, I would imagine, after the last frame.
Well, he appears to have judged that very well, and judging by the interviews of these 2 players, they both seem like such nice guys out there. I mean, it's I would imagine that you can be said for most of the players on your circuit that good bunch of guys, nice guys to hang out with, Keith.
Yeah, sure is. The majority of the guys, you know, are very nice. The Australians and the New Zealand lads are absolutely fantastic. They are great fun. And it's very enjoyable to mix with them after the matches and have a couple of drinks, and it's really good.
But meanwhile, both Paul and Kevin are at the office right now. It's a work day for them. Well, just one more good pot on the red with position on the black, and this match could be tied up yet again. Wow, that just looked like a bit of a jerk in his cue action there, just possibly a case of nerves creeping in.
Yes, no doubt about it. You could see his arm go as soon as he played the shot. He didn't really have to do that much. He could have just stunned it in, actually, and had the black in the centre. But he elected to go for the screw out. I mean, Kevin's in such a good position here now, tactically. There's just no way he can lose it.
Wow, that was desperately close to being a foul. Had that yellow not found its way to the middle pocket, boy, what a turn of events that would have been. And as it is, I think he might just, Yes, I felt he would probably snooker Paul there.
Really, he should have done that the first time. He should have just played the snooker, set both of the balls up over the middle. That was unbelievable, really. If that ball hadn't dropped in, he'd have given 2 visits away and a 3 ball.
Wow, what a tremendous shot that is from Paul Bartlett. That gives cause to the New Zealand supporters. He's still got a difficult pot on this black, however. What a tremendous finish for Paul. Well, he's leveled things up here at 5 frames apiece. It's the first 1 to 7, remember, through to the semifinals. The question, why is pool called pool? And we'll let you know after the break. And the answer to why pool is called pool? Pool originated from betting and is thought to be named after the pot or pool that went to the eventual winner.
That's actually quite a good shot there, because I don't think the red passes at the bottom, and he's actually double kissed the yellow, so it's potable. So if he has, he's played quite a good shot.
It's probably very easy to try and second guess the players out there, but they're here on merit. I mean, this is the World Championship that we're watching here, and certainly difficult to tell what's going through their minds at times.
I think we've also got to remember that it's the biggest tournament ever in the world, and none of these players have played in front of the TV cameras before, and it's easy to sit at home and watch the game. It's a different kettle of fish when you're out there playing. It's a good shot, that. With a couple of good safety shots, Paul's done very well to keep himself in this game. He's not making it easy for Kevin. That's quite a good shot. Using the distance of the table.
And it does appear to me, Keith, that with the extra balls on the table that England's Kevin Wright possesses, that he can use them as blockers as well, not only just running with the cue ball, but, I mean, he can make life very difficult for Paul.
Yes, it's when your opponent's down to maybe this last ball or his last 2 balls, and you've got like 5 or 6 on, that is a big advantage. To have your balls on the table is a big advantage.
Well, it looks to be exactly what Kevin has done there. Even though, in terms of score, it might look like Paul holds an advantage. Certainly that is not the case.
Foul.
Well, Paul there decided he was in an impossible situation. There was no way he could get out the snooker and drive the ball to the rail. So because he'd already made his mind up that he was going to make a foul, he decided he may as well play a deliberate foul, knock his ball in and put some distance there, which of course keeps him in the game.
Second visit.
Well, now 3 reds, all very much moved into the center of the table in potable positions. So this is where it starts to get very dicey for Paul. A slight error might not have been punished earlier, but I feel that if he makes a mistake now, it could be end of frame.
Looks like Paul's lining up to play the red again here. The problem is, he can come off the cushion and hit the yellow, but it wouldn't do him any good. He'd just be leaving Kevin an easy win. So it just looks like he's just going to play a deliberate foul. No, he's changed his mind again by the looks of it. Yes, he's decided to try. That's not too bad, but he's left Kevin the finish.
Yes, that mascot still helping Paul out somewhat. But you better go over and have a talk to it here.
You can only put that down to pressure. He's just got a simple roll in the middle. And, well, they don't come much easier than that, do they, finishes? It looks like Paul can actually get through to the shallow. He played it with a bit of side. Well, I'm sure Kevin will be very happy to have a second opportunity at this.
And what a big frame this is. The winner of this one would require only one more to win the match. And just this black ball needed now by Kevin.
Frame.
And the English fans very happy with that result. As you can see, it's Kevin Wright now going in front by 1 frame at 6 frames to 5. So Paul Bartlett now
Frame.
faced
Kevin
with
leads
the
6 frames to 5 for Bartlett to break.
unenviable position of needing to win the deciding 2 frames if he's going to stay alive in this World Championship.
Open table.
Well, he moved a lot of balls, but nothing found their way to the pockets. So it's a 33-year-old from Crook that is looking at the first early opportunity.
Yeah, and that really doesn't surprise me. He's made no attempt at either suit there. I think Kevin's just going to sit back now. He only needs the 1 frame. I think he's just going to wait for Paul to have a bash. Hopefully he'll not make the finish and then he'll just tie things up. I've seen Kevin do it too many times.
Red's in play. Yellow's to play.
He's rattled the red in the pocket, but to be quite honest, where he's landed, I think it'll play just as well because he's actually in quite a strong position now on the reds. Kevin's going to have to defend. I think Kevin will just play the yellow onto the red and pot the red.
Foul.
Yes, well called, Keith. Again, even though he has given up the foul, in terms of strategic position, he hasn't really lost anything.
It was very awkward queuing for him there, but what he actually tried to do was, if he could just catch the cushion, then the ball, and pocket the red, he would have carried his 2 shots. He still has a finish on, but it's very, very difficult. When you just 1 frame from losing, Well, I don't think I would take this on. I would just knock the red over the pocket here.
Well, as we look at the table, there's obviously a couple awkward balls, even after Paul gets this red. Difficult to tell if the plant is on, and the red just above the yellow, nearest the right-hand center, is always going to be the danger ball.
To be honest, Jim, he's fell very well here. I wouldn't have actually potted these two balls, but he's fell on a double. If he can pull this double out, he's got the frame.
Yes, that was a very risky shot, and might well pay dividends. Certainly on a finish now, I believe. Just having a close look to see if he can get that red. Just bring the cue ball off the bottom cushion up for the other one. And obviously here now, position of the utmost importance. And it certainly doesn't look like it's automatic.
No, you can either try rolling it in very slow or go twice across. So he's rolled it in, but, well, this will be some shot.
And from this position, Keith, is he really forced into attempting this pot?
Yes, the way the yellows are lined, he just has to go for it. He's just got no option at all.
Well, it wasn't a long ways out, but it might well have been a long ways out. It doesn't matter much right now to Paul. The yellows spread around the table nicely. It's just a matter of plucking them off, much like you would shoot ducks in a pond, I suppose.
Well, to be quite honest, Kevin's only got one half-hard ball, which is the one he just tried to remove near the rail. He doesn't really have to, as long as he keeps prime position. He's just going to do the easy finish here.
Kevin was a promising young snooker player as a schoolboy, and the only reason that he ended up taking up pool was the closure of the local snooker club. So I wonder if fate played a hand in Kevin's career.
Uh-oh. Well, he's over it, that. Careless, really. He only had to stun it in, maybe screw back an inch. He had the natural angle then to come back down the table. He's still okay. He can still cut it in, but he's got to relax and take his time. Yet again, completely out of position. He's hit the ball miles too hard. I think we'll be looking at a good safety shot here, somewhere.
Well, I'm sure in practice Kevin would have had no problem dishing up there, but this isn't practice. This is the World Championships.
That is throwing the gauntlet down, that one.
Well, he's certainly given Paul a chance here. And you know Paul's going to be having a go at this black. Well, he was forced into attempt there. And he's probably wondering if he's going to get yet another chance.
Yeah, it wasn't really the best safety shot Kevin played. He just settled for distance. Again, very surprising. He's giving him shots at this black. Well, I mean, obviously it's pretty safe here, but, well, you can always double it. back double off the yellow in the middle. He's got a couple of options. He could even roll up to it dead slow. Just make sure he touches the rail. But, well, I didn't really understand what he was trying. I think he might have been trying it back off in the middle off the yellow. He might have been better off really just clipping the black and taking it back up to the top. He's actually left Caffey in quite an easy finish here.
Well, that was a pot that counted. Now Kevin just having a look, deciding what he wants to do with the black, and that looks to be pretty nicely done. And with that black, it's the 33-year-old Kevin Wright through now to the semifinals, and a date with my co-commentator Keith Brewer. And what an effort it's been from Kevin. I mean, I'm sure at times he felt very unsure, but he doesn't need to worry anymore. He's through. He can sleep well.
Well done. A little relieved, I should think.
Yeah, a bit of pressure with the cameras and everything. Totally different game.
It was a very long start for you when he went into that 4-1 lead.
Yeah, the way he was playing, I didn't think he was ever going to miss. You know, he was potting the balls from everywhere.
And then he doubled up to level up at 5-all. He wouldn't lie down.
No, I'm just relieved to win. I didn't play my best, but, you know, that's the pressure.
Well, you came good in the end. And now in your semi-final, you're up against Keith Brewer. You must have played several times.
I've never played... Oh, I have. I've played Keith twice, yes.
Go on, tell us about it.
Keith's run both games 3-2.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to the game. Obviously, Keith will be favoured, but you never know.
Hoping for the best.
Yep.
Good. Well, well done. Terrific quarter-final. Well done.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break now. When we come back, it'll be an Australian against a Welshman. Phil Hulley from Australia against Nigel Davis from Wales. See you in just a couple of minutes.